1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the DJ Ritchie Show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. This is it. Final show of the week for me. Oh my God, for me? Yay. I had almost a full week this week of shows. Short show Monday for a football deal, and then no show Tuesday for basketball, but then 3 days in a row, a full 2 hours with me. Oh my gosh. How did I get to be so lucky? Okay. I've been doing a lot of stuff today. You know, I do 2 shows and I run a company. It's a digital media company thing. Listen, I'm not trying to blow it up and make it sound like it's a big deal. It's not. It is not at all a big deal. I mean, I'm just a tremendously wealthy person. No, I'm kidding. But it does take a lot of time. So I've been running around doing stuff all day, and I have, I haven't gotten everything. I haven't been following all day the story of the City Council of Charlotte giving money to immigrant groups to pass out to immigrants, illegal and otherwise, because of the inconvenience and the wages possibly lost because of Border Patrol being in town for Charlotte's Web. Oh, so glad they're doing that. And I know you are. All of you people that live in Charlotte, in the big dangerous city. I live in the suburbs at Lake Norman. So I don't have city taxes in Charlotte. But if I did, I would be so glad that Mayor Vile Lies and the city council have decided to do this humanitarian thing, increase funds. So great. I know they've been reporting it all day on WBT, but I'm just so glad. So glad. Now, first of all, there's no such thing as a legal immigrant or an illegal immigrant, okay? An immigrant is legal. An illegal person who has come into the country illegally, they are illegal aliens. That is the terminology. And I don't care how many feel-good liberals want to guilt people into calling them migrants and undocumented immigrants. No, they are illegal aliens according to the way our laws, our regulations are worded. But a Marxist is always going to try to change the language. That's what they do. I mean, one of the dumbest Marxists in the public eye is the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. I won't even know how to describe. He was a principal, a middle school principal or something before he got into politics, but he's a full blown Marxist in my opinion. And well, he acts like a Marxist, but he is a Marxist in my opinion. He always, he made a big deal. We will not be referring to them as illegal aliens. I will not even respond to that. Well, that's what they're called. And I don't care whether they're the nicest person you've ever met in the world or they're hardened, violent criminals. If they are in the country illegally, they don't have proper status or permission to be in this country, they're illegal aliens. That's the reality of it. So, where is accessory? Where does that word come into play in any of this? sanctuary cities, giving money to illegal aliens, warning illegal aliens that the police are coming, any of that stuff. What happened to that as a charge? Like I said last night, if you're running through and you're telling illegal aliens, ICE is coming, run, hide, ICE is coming, then you're basically the same as a lookout during a bank robbery. And you should be treated as such. So as the President Trump would say, low IQ city council is giving money, but not directly, to make up for the heartache that the feds have caused people. I mean, it's so frustrating that it's gotten even close to the point that it's at now. It is illegal to be in this country without permission and without proper permission. But you know what? There shouldn't even be organizations operating within the United States publicly out in the open that aids illegal aliens. Right? That should not even be a thing. If there are organizations that are giving illegal aliens money and giving them directions on how to get money from the government and handouts and all, then they should be doing it underground because it should be illegal, which I'm pretty sure it is, but it's not enforced. Let me tell you what a group that aids illegal aliens should be aiding them in doing: getting back home safely. That's what they need to be aiding them in doing. And doesn't that make you feel really good, really appreciated to know that if you live in Charlotte, they're confiscating money from you as a producer in the society? They're confiscating your money and giving it to illegal aliens who aren't even supposed to be here. And why? Because they're buying votes. But illegal aliens can't vote. Not yet. But you know what illegal aliens can do that's helpful to the American Marxist? They can rip apart the traditions of America. And they can rip apart our culture. And that's what all good little Marxists are shooting for. In some cases, and then in other cases, it's just people who are dumb, which I'm not ruling out for the professional Democrats in Charlotte. They could just be stupid. Stupid. Man. You talk about gall. Is it gall, though? Or is it just you too stupid to know how blatantly hideous it is? I'm just asking the question. I'm like the hysterical, effeminate Tucker Carlson. I'm just asking questions. I'm not agreeing with anyone. I'm not saying anything about anybody one way or the other. I'm just asking questions. So I guess that's what I'll be doing all night. And I hope you're here with me as I ask these questions. And maybe you can ask a few yourself when you're out doing whatever, as my dad would say, rat killing you're going to be doing. That means that you're just out messing around. Like if you're running errands, you're out doing rat killing. I don't know where it comes from. It's just what they say. All right. So good news about the state of Texas getting sued. Yeah. Good news about the state of Texas getting sued. How could that be good news? Well, I'll tell you coming up next. Hang on.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up. Identifying liberalism and mocking it relentlessly. This is the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Ah, yes. The Green-Eyed Patriot. On the air everywhere. Living it up. Living it up. Oh, yeah, it's Friday night. Remember, when the sun goes down, the volume goes up. That's what I would say if I was cranking out the hits tonight, but I'm not doing that. I'm serious talk show man tonight. The issues. That's what I'm concerned with. The issues. TJ, on your side. Now, I gave you one big tease going into the break a minute ago and saying, why would it be good that somebody is suing the state of Texas? We love Texas. Texas is a place I really love to be. Sorry, song ADD hit me. But the state of Texas is being sued by CARE. CARE, which is an acronym for the Council on American Islamic Relations. It's the nation's largest Muslim civil liberties group, and they filed a federal lawsuit against Texas Governor Greg Abbott after he designated CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorists and transnational criminal organizations. CARE called the designation, quote, unconstitutional and defamatory. Ooh. So, the great Governor Abbott of Texas, earlier in the week, he declared that Texas was going to be treating CARE as a terrorist organization. You know, CARE, from what I understand, was created by the Muslim Brotherhood, and they're listed as a nonprofit organization, I believe. I'm not so sure about that, but I think so. And I say good for Governor Abbott. Now, why, let me get around to this finally. Why is it such a great thing that they are suing Governor Abbott and the state of Texas? Well, I have been listening to the great one, Mark Levin, for years and years. And he has always said, every time he says something negative about CARE, that he wants them to sue him. Why? Because of what is called in the legal world discovery. So if you engage in or and enter into a lawsuit against someone, then they are allowed to subpoena, and you have to turn over all of your records and everything that you have for them to investigate, to prepare their case. So let's say, okay, so CARE is suing the state of Texas because it's unconstitutional and defamatory to refer to them as a terrorist organization. Well, the state of Texas could say, okay, well, here, I want all of this in discovery, and they start going through all of the records and all of the transactions and all of the everything that CARE has ever donated to, what they've spent their money on, who their money comes from and back, and all of that stuff. And then they can go, hey, look, here, this proves our case. They gave money to this terrorist organization, and then this terrorist organization has this many people who are on the CARE board of directors, and these are terrorists, and they're all associated with each other. So then CARE could really be exposed as being a terrorist organization. Now, I'm not an attorney, obviously, even though I'm sure I have some people fooled right now with all of that eloquent legalese that I just threw out there. But it seems to me, if the great one and constitutional scholar, Mark Levin, would want CARE to try to sue him so he could go into discovery and get every, as he says, turn over every rock about CARE and their operation, I'm sure the state of Texas could do the same thing. Maybe not. Maybe not. But Texas is really having to fight against these Muslim group, these Islamist groups trying to take over parts of Texas and create Sharia and that sort of thing. The same things that I talk about every night that we're all afraid of. And I ran across this clip today. I think we have time to squeeze it in. This is an expert on the situation. He's a retired sergeant with a police force that has been dealing with this situation in Texas, and their big groups operating under Sharia for a while. So this is him at looks like a city council meeting or something. Listen.
I worked for the Plano Police Department after 26 years of full-time law enforcement service, and I dealt with representatives of EPIC many times when I was the sergeant for the Plano Police Department, the training sergeant for the Plano PD. There seems to be a general misunderstanding that we're talking about a plan to build an Islamic Sharia-friendly community. The EPIC neighborhood already exists in Plano. It's been there for nearly 12 years, with 74 residential properties, a massive mosque, schools, a medical clinic, and multiple businesses. It also has an office of an Islamic financing institution called the UIF Corporation. The UIF Corporation is not a bank. It's a Michigan-based corporation whose publicly stated purpose is to, quote, engage in financial transactions that are Sharia compliant, end quote. These are their words, not mine. The local government officials south of here have known for years that only Muslims can purchase homes inside that neighborhood. You have to be a member of their mosque to live there. The first house built in that neighborhood was built right next to the Plano Police Academy. It's a huge structure with two separate front doors. The rear of the property is just a few feet from a large outdoor warning siren. The house has a large second-story platform overlooking the restricted access parking lot where the police department stored specialized vehicles such as bomb trucks, bomb disposal equipment, and the SWAT team's armored vehicle. I am a court-recognized expert in SWAT team tactics and procedures. That house has all the hallmarks of a fortress and a command post. The rear of the house looks a lot like an observation post and a shooting platform. Why would somebody choose to build a house so close to a giant warning siren and a police training site? Why would someone build a huge platform overlooking all those specialized police emergency vehicles? The first owner of that house is a leader in the EPIC neighborhood, and he is also the co-founder of the Yaqeen Institute for Islamic Research. And I urge everyone to visit their website and read what it has to say about instituting Sharia law. This is not a matter of radicals hiding in plain sight. They're not hiding. They've been open about their beliefs and their intent. Local government decision makers have failed to ask hard questions for fear of negative publicity and being labeled as bigots. I'm not here to spread innuendo or to make unfounded accusations. I'm asking everyone to simply look at the evidence and the confirmed facts that are already in existence. Thank you for your time, Judge.
Okay, now, of course, this white man is saying all these things because he is a racist and he's Islamophobic, right? Obviously, that's what he's doing. That's the only explanation for his hate speech there, right? Right? Uh-huh. All right, we have more on this dire situation that threatens the very existence of our liberty and freedom We'll have more on it coming up next.
The TJ Ritchie Show. Late, live, and local. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WPT.
Oh, go ahead and call if you want. The number is 704-570-1110. You can also text that number thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. Oh, man. All right. So we're talking about the threat in our country of radical Islamist takeovers, like they've done in several communities in the United States. And we just heard a clip of a guy who was, in SWAT training, the whole thing, talking about this epic city is what it's called that they've built in Texas that is basically, according to him, living under Sharia right now. We have another clip, and this is from Dearborn, Michigan, and by now everybody knows that Dearborn, Michigan, they call it Dearbornistan because it has just been turned into a Muslim city. Their mayor is a piece of crap. That has been brought to light, for a while, but especially a few months ago, whenever he told a Christian minister at a city council meeting that he was not welcome at those city council meetings anymore because the reverend, the pastor, was saying that it's not right to be naming streets after this Muslim terrorist that they were naming streets after and paying homage to. Guy told him to get out, and he said, I will celebrate. I'll throw a parade in the city the day that you no longer live here. All right. So I'm assuming this guy that stood up to address the city council at one of the Dearborn meetings is an old liberal for what he's saying, but it just shows where they are and where their thought processes are in Dearborn, Michigan. So it's cut 65. Go.
The first speaker we have is Dennis Dudgeon.
What I noticed is there will be no woman on the council come January. I hope the rest of you do something about making sure that women's thoughts get put into and are remembered. Because when men do all the thinking, it's different than when women put their thoughts and their hearts and their minds to it. Morley Manor, our whole board is women, and we're doing better than we used to.
Your time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Duggan. Appreciate that.
Now, of course, this guy's pandering. He's pandering to women. But what is the deal with that? Why are there no women that are going to be on the city council next year? It's a good question, even from an old lib. I don't know. I wish he would have just asked. Why are you not having any women on the city council? What is that? Now, were there some women that that lost their elections? And were the women who were on city council before, were they just regular Americans, possibly Christians? I don't know. Just worth asking, But all of this that we're seeing is a byproduct of our immigration system being so screwed up. You see, getting to live in the United States, immigrating from another country, is supposed to be an honor. And we shouldn't be just giving that honor to anybody who wants to come here. There should be rules. There should be, and there used to be, things that you have to accomplish before you are allowed to live in the United States at all. But when you start thinking of the country as multiculturalism is the best thing and diversity is our strength, those are fantasy things. It's not reality. We have a country and a culture just like every other country has. And we should not be letting people come into our country and change our culture. If they want to live in the United States of America, they need to become American and Americanized. That doesn't mean that they have to practice a certain religion that this is a Judeo-Christian nation. Doesn't mean they have to be Jews or Christians when they get here. However, if your religion causes you to not be allowed to live as an American, paying, pledging allegiance to this country, then I'm sorry. But we have all of these different cultures now that are inside our borders who don't like us. They don't like America. They don't like the way America is run. They don't like what America stands for. I mean, go to any college campus and look at the news. Look at on social media when they post these videos of Dearborn, Michigan. And whether you agree with the things that the Christian protesters in Dearborn last week were saying or not, or how they went about it, the aggression with which they were met, and reporters just asking questions, being assaulted and drowned out by Allah Akbar and all of that stuff. I watched a video today of a guy asking some young Muslim guys if there were a war between Iran or Iraq and the United States, who would they be rooting for? And they said, well, we're not supposed to be rooting for any war. We're not supposed to be in war. But even though we were born in America and we're Americans, we would root for Iran because those are our people in religion. So that's not the kind of people we need in America. Why is it that the United States of America has to celebrate this, has to say, sure, if we speak up for America and our culture and our country, then we're going to be called Islamophobic. We're going to be called racist. We're going to be called white supremacists and all that. And we've been weak when it comes to all that. We've been afraid to say what needs to be said. We've been afraid to go to our elected officials and say, this needs to stop. Because why? Because we worry about what they're going to say. But we don't want people thinking that we're racist and Islamophobic and, all of that. Well, you worry about that, and look what it gets you. It gets you millions of people in this country who want to tear it down. I mean, you cannot have a separate culture come into the United States and set up their own police force and their own way of operating that does not jibe with the U.S. Constitution. You can't do that and remain a sovereign nation. But this is where we are now. And I honestly don't know how they're going to fix it. I fear that we have too many people who are still of the mindset that if we say anything or whatever I'm saying right now, there are people listening to it going, oh my God, what a nasty, racist, Islamophobic jerk. Okay, well, I'm not. But I'm proud of the culture of the United States. I'm proud of this country for being the beacon of freedom to the world. And the way I look at it is, if everybody else can be proud of where they come from, why can't we? Why can't we say it? Why can't we walk around with our chest pumped out? Yeah, we're Americans. It used to be okay to do that. Why is it not okay to do that anymore? And you know, it's funny to me that when you see all of these protesters who are protesting against ICE and Border Patrol and everything, because they don't want to have to leave the United States, but they're walking around with their home country's flag, flying it, waving it, like it's the best thing going. Makes me sick. Because I know that what that means is that we don't look at America like it's great. We're just here to take advantage of its stuff, and we're here to take over. Okay, so I have some more examples of just completely lost souls who are commenting about the Charlotte's Web mission, Operation Charlotte's Web. And a lot of these news reports don't mean to be so telling about how screwed up things are on the left, because they're liberals themselves, but they've done it. They've shown examples of why everything is so screwed up. So we'll get into all that coming up next.
It's TJ Ritchie. He's radio royalty in the Carolinas and Queen Charlotte's sweetest prince. It's TJ Ritchie on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WPT.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Getting ready for a big hot weekend. What is up with that? Man. Once it starts getting cold, it needs to stay cold. You know, that's why I'm a climate alarmist. I think we're in bad shape here. The texts are flying into the studio here, obviously, because I'm on the air everywhere. People wanting to say something to me personally. You can do that, 704-570-1110. So far, this is the smartest text that we have gotten tonight. TJ Ritchie, you have got to go nationwide. EIB network? Your very down-home approach and gentle but clear way of exposing the truth is so compelling. Thank you so much for being dead-on observant and recognizing heap much talent when you hear it. I'm handsome, too. You can't tell that, but, you know, just by listening, but I'm sure you figured, you know. No big deal. Okay, so everybody's talking about Charlotte across the nation because of what's been going on this week with Operation Charlotte's Web. And one of the big stories is how businesses have been vacant construction sites shut down because Operation Charlotte's Web has been going on, and it's hurting the economy because all of the employees were afraid to be coming out. Now, that tells me that there are too many illegal aliens in the city of Charlotte, and that employers are not afraid of getting fined for that anymore, which I'm pretty sure that the fine is around $10,000 per illegal employee. That's what it used to be anyway. I know that for a fact. I don't know if that's changed, but that's what it tells me. But they're doing jobs Americans won't do. I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I recognize that we do need some people working in the United States of America who are from other countries, but they should be chosen the way they used to be chosen, by their unique abilities to bring to us, to benefit us in a unique way, like doctors, engineers, and so forth. But here's the man that they quoted in this story. He made a video, and he's an African-American gentleman, and this is what he said about the whole thing. Listen.
It's one thing to say that ICE is in Charlotte. It's another thing to see ICE in Charlotte and feel helpless, because it ain't enough protests you can go to. It ain't enough video recording. It ain't enough honking the horn to let people know that they're around. It ain't enough warning people on the internet, because frankly, they everywhere in Charlotte, and it ain't nowhere safe in Charlotte at this point. To see people get snatched out of their cars at a red light, the whole car just vacant in the middle of the road, and they snatching people out. To see the stores empty, to hear that the schools are empty, to see the restaurants closed down, you can feel the fear and the heaviness in the whole city. It's at the point now, anybody with some melanin, they might have some questions for you. Anybody, they don't got proof or nothing. They just run up to you. Like I said, I don't know if there's anywhere in Charlotte to be safe. I've never seen something like this. I've seen them in the woods. If you find somewhere to be safe, I pray that you stay there for as long as you can.
All right. So, of course, it's like nobody with any melanin is safe. So it's saying it doesn't matter whether you were born here and your whole family has been here for generations. If you are a person of color, you're not safe. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. He is talking like ICE and Border Patrol are the criminals. You're not safe anywhere. That's what I say about certain parts of Charlotte. Saying you're not safe in any part of that town, any part of town over there. You're not safe from criminals. You think I would get on the light rail after what I've seen on the light rail, what it's turned into? Hell no. But I am afraid of criminals. I'm not afraid of law enforcement. And they're not snatching people. They're not kidnapping people, as some of these liberals say. These are people who broke our law. And I got news for you. Those brave agents who are out there risking their lives to detain them, they are the good guys. They are the courageous ones. And they're not snatching black people up who were born in America and all and sending them off to another country. If you believe in that, then you're brainwashed. All right. I got more on this coming up at the top of the next hour, so hang on.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up. Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the DJ Ritchie Show.
Final hour of the week on the soon-to-be award-winning TJ Ritchie Show, the Green-Eyed Patriot. Talking about immigration, talking about people who are so misguided, giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're just misguided on how the whole thing works. But this really good news that we got today, I don't know if you've heard it or not, but this is it. The Supreme Court gave President Trump sweeping power over immigration in a 5-4 ruling. The justices upheld his use of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act against Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, calling it a foreign invasion, which it is. Now gang members can be detained and deported without lengthy court appeals or judicial blocks. Ooh, in your face, Marxists. Many will end up in El Salvador's new mega prison. It's a major victory for border security and law enforcement, leaving open borders advocates stunned. Good. All right, now as far as all of these people saying that anybody can be snatched up, anybody of color can be snatched up by Border Patrol, they're questioning everybody. Oh my God, they're questioning everybody? Are they deporting everybody? Are they detaining everybody? No, but they're questioning. Oh, no, don't question people. What does that mean? Well, it means that they've stopped and asked for proof of citizenship or, oh, really? Wow, I can't believe that. How oppressive. How scary. Everybody's scared. Everybody with any melanin is scared, terrified. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Listen to me now. Let's say that what we have in the country right now, as in the number of these violent criminals and illegal aliens that come from Latin America, let's say it's not Latin America. Let's say that all of that activity, gang members, drug dealers, murderers, rapists, not saying that all the people who come from Latin America are all of those things, but that's what we're dealing with here in a lot of these cases. Let's say they're coming from Canada and they're Canadians. All right. So I am regular green-eyed white guy. Okay? Because that's what I am. Handsome, olive-skinned, but still green-eyed white guy. And I'm driving along and I go into a store, or I am somewhere where they're making an arrest of one of these illegal Canadians that's wanted for drug dealing and gang banging and whatever else. Then they see me and they say, hey, are you supposed to be here? Are you legal? And I'll say, well, yeah, I was born in Ruston, Louisiana. I come from a long line of regular Americans. And they say, well, let me see some proof. And I'm going to whip out my real ID from the state of North Carolina. That, side note, is one of the stupidest looking driver's licenses I've ever seen in my life. It's hideous. You turn it over on the back and it's got a cutout of my head right where a horse's business is. Right on the bottom side of the horse, like my head is the horse's male parts. It's one of the craziest, dumbest looking things I've ever seen in my life. But regardless, I hand it to the agent. The agent looks at it and he says, okay, just checking. And then I'm on my way. But I fit the profile of the illegal Canadians that are taking over the neighborhoods and all and committing crime and whatnot. No, I'm supposed to be here. Here's the proof of it. The only thing that would make me mad in that situation is I would be mad at the ICE agent for insulting me by even thinking that I'm a stinking Canadian. That's the only thing. So when you hear these people, they're questioning everybody. Okay. That's called a profile, a criminal profile. That's what that's called. Hello. It's craziness. Absolute craziness. I'm sorry, Lonnie. Did I have a piece of audio to play here? No. Okay. I didn't think so. Just checking. I get all wound up and I lose my place of what I'm supposed to be doing and all that. Because I dazzle myself at times with brilliant analogies. But you got these liberals, especially these white liberal women who are running around all on their feelings, or as the kids say, catching feelings. They're catching feelings. Running around, acting like they know what's going on, and they don't. They don't know anything. But they cause trouble. They're a bunch of troublemakers. You know what? It's not a crime to question somebody and ask them if they are who they are supposed to be. What do you think happens, or what they're doing when they set up a checkpoint on the highway? Should they not question people at those checkpoints, whether they're checking for people being drunk and driving, or whether they're checking for a fugitive? They could be trying to escape. Should every driver that they stop and ask, can I see your license? And right now I know a lot of these libertarians will say, no, they don't need to be doing that. But I mean, I'm not one of those that says, well, if you're not doing anything, you have nothing to worry about. I'm not one of those. I don't think that, the police should be able to harass people. For example, if a cop stops you for speeding and they ask you where you're going, that's none of their business. So I'm not one of those. And where are you going tonight? Well, that's not your business. Now, you can choose to say it's not your business, and that's not illegal, but you're going to get treated differently, I'm sure. But if they're just stopping you to see if you're drunk, or if, God forbid, somebody has committed a crime and they're checking to make sure that you're not trying to smuggle them out of the state and then out of the country, it's not illegal to stop and ask you questions. So offensive, though. It's racially profiling. No, it's criminal profiling. Somebody committed a crime that fits the same profile as you, that has the same description as you. So, God forbid. Let's see. I had something really, really good. Oh, we got to do an entire segment making fun of Big Sleepy Hakeem Indica Jeffries tonight. I think I'm going to do that every night. I'm going to take out at least one segment and dedicate it to the clownness that is Big Sleepy Hakeem Indica Jeffries. So we will do that next, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on.
The TJ Ritchie Show. He's America's coolest conservative. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Am I lying, Lonnie Ray? You don't have to be scared to say.
No, you're not lying.
I'm not lying. Look, that Neil Saavedra is going to be sitting in for me Wednesday night doing my show because I'm going to be, Thanksgiving with my family doing stuff. And he's going to be doing a Thanksgiving show because he does a food show on KFI in Los Angeles. And they're promoting him on this radio station way more than they promote me. And I'm a member of the staff. I'm on every night. Well, that they let me be on. He's going to be on one night. They're promoting him like Bo and Beth. Oh, man. If they promote me half that much, I'd have more than 11 listeners. But see, that's the thing, Lonnie Ray. Now that I think about it, it's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy, yeah.
Yeah, you know why?
Why is that?
Because if I mess around and get too many listeners, then I might ask them to pay me.
Yeah.
And you think Neil Saavedra is not going to get paid handsomely for doing that one show? Oh, they're probably going to they'll back up a Brinks truck to him because he's in Los Angeles. Let's see how it is. Let's see. Okay. Big sleepy time. Big sleepy time. I think from now on, I'm just going to treat Big Sleepy Hakeem Indica Jeffries as fodder because he's so ridiculous and he's so comical without meaning to be. First of all, we will play a clip for you from Big Sleepy making a speech, and just like every other commucrat, everything is a crisis. It's a crisis, a health care crisis, a climate crisis. Yeah. So just go ahead with it. Play it. Go. Cut 63.
Has become unaffordable in far too many places, ripping away the possibility of home ownership for millions of Americans. And we know that home ownership has always been central to the great American dream. And so it's incredibly important that we deal with the climate crisis because there is only one Earth. There is no planet B. We have no other option. We have to deal with protecting God's green Earth. But we also should deal with the climate crisis because the absence of doing it causes life in America to just continue to become more unaffordable, particularly in this instance as it relates to both the home insurance crisis and the rise in electricity costs and utility bills all across the country because of the administration's assault on the progress that was made related to standing up a clean energy economy.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of Speaker Pelosi, Senator Whitehouse, Democrats in the House and the Senate,
you can kill it.
And of course, the Biden administration.
Okay.
Republicans have taken a sledgehammer
All right,
to the clean energy economy, which hurts our ability to both deal with the climate crisis and hurts our ability to drive down costs for everyday Americans.
Okay, stop it.
I look forward to the continued leadership.
Now, he's so full of crap, and he knows so little about what he's supposed to know about this made up climate crisis that he's stumbling. You can tell he's not confident about what he's saying with the information. He's talking about the what do you call it? The Green New Deal, which basically killed business operations, and if it would have gone on any farther, it just hampers the building of anything. So with the climate crisis and all of the things that were put in place, he's saying that because of the removing of all of these regulations and everything, the stifling of construction and all, then that's what's making housing unaffordable. People can't own a home. The regulations put in place when it comes to building a home or anything else, that is what has made things so expensive in the real estate market. New construction of anything because of all of these stupid climate regulations. First of all, it has caused any type of project to slow down immensely, take way longer than it should be taking, because you got all of these regulations that you have to meet standards and this, that, and the other. It's just so stupid. And the whole concept of man-made climate change is nothing but a communist ploy to hurt business and industry and everything else. And he knows it, and that's why it's so hard for him to get the words out, and he sounds like a bumbling idiot because he's not well versed in the propaganda. The Green New Deal. That's what, when you think about the progress made in the climate crisis is when they're outlawing gas stoves and homes having to be outfitted with thermostats that shut off after a certain time to save the environment, where you don't control it yourself. All of that kind of stuff. The low flow toilet is part of saving the environment. And those are great, aren't they? The efficiency washing machine, high efficiency washing machines. They're great, right? Smell like mildew if you don't leave the lid open on them. Yeah. So wonderful. But this is just how backwards they are, and how they will say they have no shame at all. No shame, because they're Democrats. And climate crisis, home insurance crisis, everything to Democrats is a crisis. Crisis. There's no planet B. Yeah, clever that sounds. Not plan B, planet B. Oh, man. All right, so I have another clip of Big Sleepy, but we don't have time in this segment, and I think that might be enough. Because it's going from me laughing at him and thinking that he's ridiculous to making me mad. And I don't want to do that. Let's just leave it as it is. We'll move on to something else next. So hang on for that.
It's TJ Ritchie. Radio, podcasts, and cool social media content. Get all the TJ you can handle at WBT.com/TJ. Now, back to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
You can also get it at TJRitchie.com. TJRitchie.com. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, please, to all of my social medias and everything. I would really appreciate it. Now, we're always talking about on this show the brainwashing that goes on with our young peoples, be it in their government schools growing up, or, especially in the government colleges and universities, from their Marxist professors. But I want you to hear something. This is a guy who seems to be about in his 50s. He's a white guy. And he's got 3 young people on stage in an auditorium area. And they look high school or college age. And he's asking them questions about their social status and what they think about the social status of other people and that sort of thing. So it is a white girl, a black girl, and I think a white guy. Okay. And the black girl on stage is obviously from a family that is more successful and well-to-do than the 2 white students who are on the stage. But you can hear in their answers to the questions that he gives them and engaging them in thought how brainwashed they are and how ridden with guilt they are, and how just completely manipulated by the message of the Marxists. Listen.
What would it mean to benefit from white privilege?
I kind of raised with some things will limit you because you are a woman, because you are black.
Yeah.
But with having white privilege, it's one less thing limiting you.
To me, it just means that, like, my skin color in and of itself does not make my life any harder. Like, I will never question if something bad happens to me, was it a result of my skin color?
Things could happen to you that you could, like, maybe not get a job or something because you're white. Like, someone's getting like, yeah, I can't hire you because you're white. We need more black and brown people. There are all sorts of things that could happen to you. Do you have more privilege than Maya? Dude, she's living in a really sweet neighborhood, by the way.
But I do have white privilege. Would I say that her life is privileged in other ways? I'm sure. But her skin color versus my skin color, I will always get the upper hand.
Always?
I'd say so.
Dude, first off, you do understand. There are black people in this room who are rich. Like, rich, man. Imagine where Maya lives for a second. And you're sitting here going like, yeah, but I have this privilege. This is poverty in the U.S., okay? This is defined in different ways. Look, you got 40 million poor white people in the U.S. White people, 40 million white people. Y'all have a ton of white privilege, and no matter what, when you walk into a room, your whiteness is going to get you things. Like, people are just going to throw shit at you because you're white. You know, and that's how it works.
If you're white and poor, you still are white. And that in itself, with our country's history, does give you a little leverage over people of color.
Over you?
Yes. I've been...
Well, hang on. Let me ask you this. Would you rather be poor and white? Poor and white, okay? Or would you rather be you? Black and wealthy?
I'd rather be in my circumstances.
All right. You all get what I'm doing here, right? I'm saying, like, we got to get outside of these, like, really narrow confines of how we think about certain things. If you're thinking like all the other people are thinking, you're not thinking very smart, in a very smart way.
So it has been ingrained into them, all 3 of them, that whiteness, as they say, the devilish whiteness is the key to the kingdom. Being white in America gives you an advantage over every person of color, no matter what. And these poor kids believe it. And they go through life being hampered by these lies and not living the truth, which is, in the United States of America in 2025, just because you're white doesn't mean that you have privilege. And I don't care what anybody says. You know what white privilege would be? White privilege would be if I showed up at practice with the Charlotte Hornets and I said, hey, one of you black guys sit down. I'm playing for the team now. And they, the owners of the team, the coaches and I said, well, he is white. He's got that privilege. We've got to give him your job, and then just pick somebody to go sit down. There are so many successful black people and brown people, as we're now supposed to say. There are so many successful brown people, black people, that because of these Marxists on the left, they can't fully enjoy what they have earned because they're constantly being told that somebody is doing them wrong simply by being racist with white privilege, whiteness. And that's cruel. And I'm glad that Maya on the stage there said she would rather be black and wealthy in her situation than white and poor. Because at least she was honest and she recognized that she does have it well and that her parents have provided her with a great life. But you see, these propagandists would say, well, they happen to be able to be successful in spite of this racist country trying to hold them back. They would be twice as wealthy as they are. If America wasn't so systemically racist, all of us would be. All these preachers that I point out that preach this mess to their congregation, they do it because they make money from it. These race hustlers and these Democrat politicians have to keep groups of people, with conflict between them. Or else the snake oil that they're selling wouldn't sell. If you really stopped and took people as individuals, like how does this white person treat me? And how does this black or brown person treat me? We're good with each other. And all of the individuals who have relationships that are good would start to make the country look different. It's odd that, it was not odd, it was predictable by anybody that pays attention, but if you look back at history, when America elected the first black president, race relations got worse because that threatened the race hustlers and the Democrat politicians, the Marxist, Commucrat politicians. Said, we can't have America now thinking, hey, we're not racist anymore because we elected a black president. Then we lose that tool. We lose that weapon that we have to control people, mainly control black people from the left. You want to make somebody mad? Say that Barack Obama was America's first half-white president instead of calling him America's first black president. That drives them nuts. But it's true. And you know what? He was the one that promoted the most of that racial angst. Why? Because he's a Marxist. And the last thing that Barack Obama would want is harmony between the races in the United States. It's no joke, no lie, that the Republican Party is the party that wants harmony between the races. The Democrat Party wants conflict and chaos because the Democrat Party wants to control black and brown people. The Republican Party wants everybody to do as well as they can possibly do and love each other, which would be happening more and more, and it would be widespread across this country more than anything you could imagine if black and brown people would stop listening to these Marxist Democrats. The whole country would be so much better off. But these poor kids, they've grown up being told, you're bad because you're white. You should be repenting every day. But there's no way you can fully repent because you can't get rid of your whiteness no matter how hard you try. You're always going to be guilty of being white. And black people, you're always going to be less because of whiteness, because of the way you're treated. It's very insulting to say that even if you're a successful black person, that you're still beneath the white privilege of a poor white person. It doesn't make sense, but that's what they do. That's how the Commucrat politicians and race hustlers and all survive. That's how they thrive. Okay. Got the last segment coming up, running a little bit late. Hey, running late and sounding great, as they say. We'll get into the next segment and figure out how we're going to leave you for the week coming up next.
The TJ Ritchie Show. Identifying liberalism and mocking it relentlessly. This is the TJ Ritchie Show. On News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Live from the big dangerous city, Charlotte, North Carolina. I am Mr. Charmed and Dangerous. I have let's see, hold on. I have kind of a breaking story here. I mean, it's not breaking like Brett Jensen would have, but it's kind of breaking. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a.k.a. MTG, Republican Georgia, has announced today that she will resign her seat in Congress 1 week after former President Donald Trump publicly pulled his endorsement of the outspoken Georgia lawmaker. Oh, Margie, what are you up to? This is FoxNews.com. In a lengthy statement posted on X, Greene cited her growing disillusionment with Washington politics, blasting what she called a corrupt political industrial complex that she said uses Americans as, quote, pawns in an endless game of division, end quote. Quote, Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. Nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman, end quote. Greene says that she had never fit in Washington and was leaving Congress to, quote, fight for the people of this country in a different way, end quote. Or as Larry Elder would say, end of quote. Her announcement comes amid political fallout following Trump's decision last week to withdraw his endorsement, calling Green wacky and a ranting lunatic. In her statement, Green announced her last day of office would be January 5th, 2026. No, don't wait till January 5th. Go on. Go, Margie, go. You're too good for them, Margie. The Office of Congressional The Office of Congresswoman Margie Taylor Greene did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. Okay, now here's what happened. What had happened was she wanted to run for Senate. President Trump told her, "No, I'm not endorsing you for senator because you can't win." She comes from a very, very Republican district in Georgia. And he didn't think that she could win a statewide election for senator. Okay. She got mad, and then she fell in with Tucker Carlson and Lil Nikki Fuentes and The View. And she started, going after President Trump. Like she turned on him. She also didn't like the fact that he bombed those Iranian nuclear sites, because she's not much on helping out Israel. Okay, so then she's just been. If you want to be treated like a hero, at least for a little while, be a turncoat Republican. And the media will hoist you upon their shoulders and carry you around, dumping buckets of Gatorade on top of you until they get everything they need out of you. And then you're back to being the scourge of the earth because you're not one of them. And I guess... I don't know how it works. I know in some cases, like say if it's a senator that steps down or dies or whatever, then the governor of that state appoints somebody to temporarily take the office until they can have an election. I don't know if that's how it works with this case or not. But I don't know. Margie has probably seen a lot of money that could be coming her way as a podcaster, like one of those hysterical podcasters like Sister Tucker Carlson or Steve Bannon, those crazy ones. Maybe she's going to get a job on MSNBC or something, but somehow I have a feeling that she has figured out that she can swing her career into the direction of a lot of money in some sort of broadcasting. I don't know. That's what I would guess. Or she may just know that if she's turned on Trump and he's withdrawn his endorsement of her, that she doesn't feel she can win that election. But, that's why in these midterms, we really, really have to get Republicans elected. And the latest polls that came out yesterday, I think, it's not showing well for the Republicans in the midterms. If we lose the House, then it's going to go back to nothing but nonstop investigations of President Trump. Anything on his agenda that he wants to get done legislatively is going to get shut down. Everything will just be a mess if we lose the House. That's why it's so important to try to put out these fires within the party and figure out some way that the Republicans are going to handle these, these idiots like Sister Tucker and little Nikki Fuentes and Steve Bannon and Candace Owens and all the lot. They don't care about the party. They don't care about the country. All they care about is being, edgy and the backing of whoever puts the money up for their podcast networks and whatnot. In my humble opinion, that's what I think. And I think Margie Taylor Greene killed her chances of being reelected when she went on CNN the other day and apologized for all of the harsh things that she said as a representative from Georgia. She went on there and apologized, which is the worst thing you can do. So she was done then for sure. So bye-bye, Margie. Catch you on the flip side. All right, Mark Levin's coming up next. God loves you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a good weekend.
It's TJ Ritchie.